Sarge Yoga was in its, I suppose one might say, infancy, growing through organically through meetings and people getting together and making beautiful posters and putting them up in towns and getting people to come in and giving mass realization, giving people their first realization. I'd had my realization up in the small ashram in London. I think it was called Dollis Hill or something, and I was still kind of in between two worlds. I had my new job as a computer engineer in the early, in the early 80s. Well, it's like 1980, 81, where computers are big, heavy-duty things, and you have to go around fixing them. I just stopped recording for an instant there, and I live in the country in Thailand, and there's lots and lots of dogs. So I thought it might be amusing to actually stand out here and record a few seconds of the dogs baying. I'm trying to find out why they're baying. They do this periodically. Listen to that. Oh, they've heard me. No, quite a way away. That's the sound of my fountain in the background. So I'll wander back in and carry on with the story. Now we've had our canine interlude. It's a bit cold out, actually. It's only about 28. That for me is cold because the average temperature in Thailand is, in the days, is about 34, 35. And it's been a hot season. So as I was saying, I'd got this amazing new job, which led on to other things. And I realise now that this is as a result of Sarge Yoga. Becoming a Sarge Yogi had changed my life considerably from being a wayward musician and guy that used to do recordings for people and put on bands and punk bands and folk bands and God knows what else. And I sort of got into things which I like doing, which is computer engineering in the very early days in its infancy. And this led on to other things which I'll talk about later. So I came back down to Brighton one night after a busy day in London, crashing into people with my car, which is a sort of habit that got me the title of the epithet of the crasher in the company. So I got in, and Mother had come down to Brighton beforehand, and I was a bit late. She was giving a meeting in the hall, I think down the end of Western Road over the Co-op. It wasn't the usual place that we had because I'd left there and got a flat somewhere from the first story that I came up with. I think I was smoking roll-up cigarettes at that point, and I hadn't actually given that up. And I might have the occasional beer with friends of mine because I was pretty young, sort of 30s, 29, 30, something like that. And I just wanted to see Sri Mataji, and as I came in the hall, and in my head I was sort of like, thinking, oh, what am I going to do in the future? And this question arose in my mind, as I stood. I was standing down the back of the hall. Mother was standing up, giving realization at the front of the hall. The hall wasn't that big, but it was about 10 or 11 layers deep of seated people, and Sri Mataji was standing up at the front talking. And I just kind of went silent, and I just started thinking inside myself, what do I really need to give to this Sri Mataji to give her? And I just came up with the kind of idea of just love in the mind, just project love as hard as possible. So I was looking at Sri Mataji, and a silence came over me, which I can't describe. And the hall, with all the people in it, completely disappeared. It just went. This was timeless. It just went. And in the distance, a long way away, was this absolutely beautiful figure with her hands held out, giving realization, dressed in a white saree, and surrounding this lady, Sri Mataji, this goddess, was this white cloud all around. And I felt an enormous peace coming over me, and a calmness and a stillness and emptiness in my mind as I kind of connected with this amazing vision. And, it went away and we carried on as normal. And this is one of the things that had happened to me that was quite, I suppose on a scale of 1 to 10, that was up at the number 10 point of being cosmic. And that is all I can say. I can't say much more than that. It transformed my life. And over many years, I dropped away from Saj Yoga. So I'm 72 now, so you can do the calculations. I did quite a lot of things, with yogis to do with the more media-oriented things when I was sort of highly active. But as life has progressed with me, and I've sort of turned the corner in my life now, I'm starting a centre here in Thailand. There's lots of good yogis in Thailand, and I'm making contact again. And this is making me extremely happy. And the thing is there's Alan Werry's, one of his books would say that it's falling leaves. That as a tree matures and goes through its seasons, the leaves fall onto the ground and then nourish the roots again. And I'm remembering all these amazing things that happened to me, which I sort of locked away in my memory bank, running at the back of my brain's computer. And now they're bubbling to the surface with, for me, great joy. And obviously the dogs are having a bit of a baying in the background. They've gone now. So I hope that short story, mainly focused in around Brighton, which was an absolutely amazing place to live in the 70s and 80s. So I say Jai Sri Mataji, and I hope you listen to a few more if I can remember them. Good night.